Okay, principle number 7, be kind to yourself. Think about all the things that we say to ourselves about money. "Ugh, I'm so bad with money. I've never been good with it. I suck at managing my impulses. I'll never be able to get a better job. Way to go. You screwed up again. You're never going to be successful. You're such a screw up. You might as well not even try." Can you imagine if anybody spoke to someone you loved that way? Or if anyone else treated us the way that we treat ourselves? We'd never put up with it. So why do we do this to ourselves? We do it on the daily. What is that really about? Truth is, we are our own worst critics. We are highly judgmental of our own thoughts and actions. We are way less likely to encourage ourselves after a perceived failure. And we self sabotage when we don't trust ourselves fully. The truth is, the way that we speak to ourselves will powerfully impact the action we take or don't take in life. And of course, that counts in our money too. So, what does being unkind to ourselves look like when it comes to our money? You sabotage yourself. Self destructive talk leads to less motivation. Self judgment means you don't ask for help. Beating yourself up when you make a mistake. When you tell yourself you can't, you don't even try. Your beliefs about money get passed to those around you. Well, what happens to your money? Well, one way is you use it as a coping mechanism. I'm sure you all have experienced this. When the stressors or struggles in life, even if they're unrelated to money, we tend to use money or spending as a coping mechanism. We think that buying things or spending money will make us feel better. Spoiler alert, it usually doesn't. We also see financial self sabotage. This is like impulse spending, not tracking or paying attention to your money, just letting it get out of hand, spending out of savings for things that you didn't actually save for intentionally, or just beating yourself up. When you make a mistake, you get upset, you want to give up, you stop trusting yourself to make good money decisions, or you're just so down on yourself that you're not even willing to ask for help. You feel like this is your mess, you should have to clean it up yourself. So, how do we shift it? How do we learn to be kind to ourselves when it comes to money? Well, as with everything else, the first step is always awareness. Firstly, the awareness that it isn't always money related. Sometimes you're being unkind to yourself over things completely unrelated to your finances, and that just leads to emotional consequences. When you're depressed or anxious or stressed, even over other things, you will tend to lack clarity and trust with your money. You have to realize that in life, things are always going to come up. Stressors are going to happen, events are going to trigger memories and past traumas that make it harder to think clearly. You aren't always going to get it right. So get some awareness. How are you treating yourself? The truth is, the money is almost never the actual issue. So what's really going on? What's behind it? How's your self-talk? If someone else said those words to you or someone you love, what would your reaction be? What are your main coping mechanisms and how healthy are they? I used to say, I don't use money as a coping mechanism. I don't impulsively spend money because I was thinking of people who buy shoes impulsively. I absolutely spend money as a coping mechanism because food is my coping mechanism and you have to buy food. So what's it really about? Look deeper into it. In what ways do you need to ask for help? How can you identify and work through those triggers and traumas? And again, get professional help if you need to work through some of those things. Financial fulfillment is impossible if you're constantly beating yourself up and not coping with your emotions with kindness. No amount of money or financial coaching or security or things will ever make you feel as loved as you can make you feel. Now, being kind to yourself also involves recognizing and avoiding financial self-sabotage, finding healthy coping mechanisms that also respect your values and priorities, healing past traumas around money, and giving yourself grace when you mess up or make a mistake. You are learning, and you get to give yourself grace in the process. So, what patterns of self-sabotage can you identify in your world, especially financial self-sabotage? What do you see? What are you doing to yourself? And how can you start to shift that towards kindness, towards being kind to yourself? Because you are worthy of being kind to yourself.